That's how you do it. I have no idea. Alright, this is the first video, guys. Welcome, my name is August, this is Nico, and this is the first episode of Translation, where we're going to talk about being trans, going through a pretty severe medical transition, and also a major surgery in order to get the body that we need to feel comfortable in our own skin, right? Yeah. So Nico had top surgery with Dr. Mort Risby out of West Empire Plastic Surgery. I work for Dr. Risby, and tell us a little bit about your experience.
At first I was kind of terrified because I'd never gone through any major surgery before, but honestly I was once I got into the hospital bed and they put the IV in me, I was really fine. I wasn't panicking at all. I was actually very excited.
Nice.
And the anesthesiologist was so sweet, so sweet. She was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put this numbing thing in your IV, and I was like, okay, totally didn't expect it. And then I remember them opening the doors and they were just like, okay, are you ready? And I was like, yeah, and then I passed out. So I didn't even know that they put the anesthetic in, so I didn't have time to freak out. They didn't tell me to count backwards, so I didn't panic.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because I woke up and I was like, wow, it's very bright in here. Because I was
really bright in here.
It was so good because I just woke up kind of euphoric because the anesthetics.
Yeah.
But I woke up hungry, and then the next thing I knew, I was laying in my bed, and I was laying on the couch actually because I couldn't lay in my bed fully because I couldn't sit up really properly. Yeah. But I had a bandage wrapped around my chest, and I was like, this is so strange.
Because
my chest was my chest was flat but without a binder. It was just kind of strange because I couldn't kind of grasp it.
Yeah,
and it
you
didn't
had to
feel
see it with your own eyes.
Yeah, it didn't feel real at first.
That's cool. I mean, that's something that you wanted for a long time before you got it done, obviously. Is there something that you did before surgery to kind of prepare yourself for going through that? A lot of patients, I mean, all of our patients have to go through gender therapy and kind of work with the therapist to say that they are cleared for surgery, but is there something that you did personally to kind of prepare yourself for the pain, the change, or why you decided to get top surgery in the first place?
Well, I wanted to get top surgery mainly because I had such severe chest dysphoria where I couldn't actually leave my house without a binder, or I'd have panic attacks every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it got very severe for me at one point, and I just I was like, I can't do this. I can't live with the constant panic attacks and all this anxiety. It's not fair to me.
No, and it's really uncomfortable. It is, and it's this way that when you're trying to hide your chest, something that you have, you sit a little bit differently so that no one can see it. You roll your shoulders over so that Yeah,
there's a little aneurysms that you do when you have a binder on, because you can't wear shirts that show it.
Yeah,
you get comfortable.
You don't want your collarbones to show because your binder's there. You don't want this feels feminine to you instead of masculine. There's all of these little things, so there's this way that we carry ourselves where we, you push out your shoulder blades, you pull your shoulders forward so that no one can see that you have a chest. And it's probably really hard to, and then after surgery, you're protecting that scar, all that stuff. How has your life changed since you've had the operation?
It's actually been more of a personal change, not very external, it's more internal. Because for me, after I got top surgery, I just felt more myself and I felt more comfortable within my body.
Okay.
I still have some body image issues, obviously, but everyone kind of does.
Yeah.
But it's more it's not surrounded around my gender anymore. It's more just general discomfort, whether I want to get more in shape since I can't run a lap without wanting to die. But it's more about my own personal beliefs about myself.
Yeah, I mean,
so it helps me feel more comfortable within myself, makes me feel more comfortable being out in the open and not really having to care. I can now go to the beach topless. And
that's awesome. That's awesome. So we were talking a little bit before, and you kind of mentioned that before you were transitioning and kind of before you accepted who you are, you battled with some other mental illnesses that is really common, depression, anxiety, and I think that personally it comes from a sense of feeling wrong in your skin. and so you're trying to doing whatever you can to fix that.
Yeah.
Right. And so tell us a little bit about how, you know, getting top surgery and getting on testosterone and going through this medical transition has helped you cope with these sides of yourself that you've had to deal with since you were probably a child.
Well, when I was in 7th grade,
Okay.
and starting even at 5th grade,
So that's
I was starting to develop.
11
I
and
was
12?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was starting to develop disordered eating, but I didn't necessarily develop a full-blown eating disorder. But when I reached 7th grade, I started to develop more terms of anorexia, and then in 9th grade it turned into like bulimic tendencies, and I dealt with that for a very long time. Not only because of bullying in my elementary school and in middle school, but also because I just was never comfortable with myself. So when I entered into the highest level of care and in my treatment center, and I instantly started to get better.
Really?
I started to force myself to like do the eating part, but that's not really what it's all about. It's not actually about the food, it's about the mentality and what you're trying to cover up with coping with food.
Okay.
So it's very interesting because I found out a lot of like self-discovery kind of bits about myself, and like I found who I truly was then, really, because I could decipher like, okay, I'm doing this behavior, but this isn't about the food. It's not about the broccoli or the potatoes. It's about like, what am I trying to not think about? What am I trying to suppress? What am I trying to not address about myself that needs to be addressed?
So it was almost like a coping mechanism, or even like a way of pushing aside the things that you had to work on and blaming it all on this one thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to kind of go back towards the top surgery. The big things that you kind of are touching upon is what I can tell is that when you go into a surgery like this, you kind of need to be really honest with not only the people around you, but with yourself on where you stand emotionally, physically, mentally, that you're prepared for the surgery, that you know the risks going into it, right? You know that your surgeon is the surgeon that you want, and that the people around you care about your feelings and about that this surgery is really important to you.
Yeah. And you have to be really committed into taking care of like aftercare.
And any other like small point of advice before we go?
Just kind of like always do what you're comfortable with. Don't push yourself to do something because other people say you should. Because like I've had family members where they're just like, oh, if you want to appear more masculine, you should like wear more boyish clothing. Like it doesn't matter how you appear to other people. It doesn't matter how other people see you. Don't like really take into other people's beliefs as your own, because as long as you know who you are, that's all that really matters. You don't need other people's validation. You don't need other people's words of wisdom or stuff. You can validate yourself. You need to validate yourself first before you can even help other people.
Yeah.
You need to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people, or it's not going to really work out in the end.
No, it's very
true.
true.
As long as you are comfortable within yourself, and as long as you are trying to work on yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, just like always focus on the fact that you come first no matter what, and if something doesn't feel right to you, don't do it.
All right, so that's really good advice. Be comfortable in yourself. Like Nico said, if someone says you shouldn't dress feminine because you're trans, you want to appeal masculine, then that's really none of their business, right? You get to feel comfortable in your skin, present how you want to present, and kind of love yourself every step of the way. Which is the big thing that Nico pressed on, is that you need to love yourself and kind of be very honest and open with yourself before you go through a process like this. Thank you so much, Nico, for coming on. This is Translation, a new project that I'm working on. I hope you guys like it. Comment below, ask more questions. We're here for you, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.